You think Etofis is successful because of the discrimination against Anglophone? He's successful in soccer because of that? You think so? You think Francis Ngannou is the best boxer globally because of discrimination against Anglophone? We don't have a culture of entertainment and sports. Growing up, we used to hear Koto Bass. We will hear Longue. We will hear Petit Pays, Bebe Manga. All of these are Francophone artists. If you try to do music within the Anglophone zone, you were shunned, you were shamed, you not even think about it. Just go to school. Quit that. I started a film production business company in Cameroun. Do you know the first people that insulted me? Neighbors said I'm crazy, frustration. But today, when we want to talk about film, we want our country to be up there. And even when your brothers try to produce films, you insult them, you criticize them, you talk about it, and you say, oh, it's low standard. There's nothing good that you see out of it. Even after trying all these years to see that they put us on the map, you don't see anything good about it. And then tomorrow we turn around and we blame, oh, they don't. Is it discrimination? Is it discrimination that makes you to look at yourselves this way? This is the real us that we have to look into the mirror and then be able to pivot and start making those changes. If Canada works, Cameroon can work. And we have to press the reset button, because what I understand about our leaders, they never ever went and gave their all into this union. And it's time for us to go into this union and give our all. Give our heart. Give our all. Our artists like Mr. Leo and the rest, they started in 2016 singing in English, French, and Pidgin, and they have gained traction. They've gained international recognition, and that is proof that if we give our all, learn the French. With the English and the French, you become better, and you can be able to create something that will give you global recognition. Our artists have demonstrated that. We'll do it. We will initiate that change in that country. We will make it happen. Everything starts with determination, guys. It starts in the mind, guys. It starts with you verbalizing that it's even possible for you to succeed, to win in life. If you have self-defeating prophecies, self-defeating words that I cannot make it, I am broke, I'm backwards, I was not designed to be successful, it will become your reality. If you start speaking the opposite, that we are called in this generation to bring this transformation. We are called and we are the chosen ones. We are blessed. We are favored. Anything that we touch our hands on, we will succeed. When we start thinking that way, things will change. And that is the energy that I bring on the table. We will change the trajectory of that nation. Where our parents failed, we will prove that with everything that we have in this generation, we will make it work. Everything must not be about you. You can hold a light for others too. And that is the heart that brings unity and love and cooperation. So now you've gotten it right. You understand why you guys are not good with sports, because we don't have a history of parents encouraging, putting money, supporting us to be good in music, in sports, in films. We've always been shamed. We've always been looked down upon, and we don't see great footballers or soccer players from the English zone playing in Europe and other nations. That is why you don't even see them back home to come play for the national team. So there is no discrimination. It's based on competence. You can point something else, we can look at that, but if it has to do with sports, Francis Ngannou is who he is today. Is not discrimination. They didn't pick him because he was Francophone. Competence. Never forget that. Because if you go around looking at everything through the lens of Anglophone, Francophone, you are blinded. And it is dangerous for you to be looking at life that way. Everything you filter it through the box of Anglophone, Francophone. This is the cross that you carry. You see what I'm saying? Is he competent? Do they know what they are doing? That is what is important. Hello friends, welcome to another interesting session. Today we will be analyzing another beautiful video. This is going to blow your mind because it's going to tap deep into the psychic of English speaking Cameroonians. Again, This platform is designed for Cameroonians under the age of 40 who believe that we can achieve peace, unity, freedom, and prosperity in Cameroon without violence. If you are above the age of 40 and you believe in this initiative, we welcome you. If you are above the age of 40 and you think otherwise, then this video and this platform is not for you. The video we are going to be analyzing today will help us understand our psychic, why some of us have not been making progress within the Anglophone zone, and what is the root cause. Most importantly, it will help us have perspective on our current situation. I would like to start by saying, I would rather prefer to have a friend who will hurt my feelings and tell me the truth that will help me have a bright future than have a friend who will say, I don't want to hurt your feelings, lie to me, and then my future will turn out to be disastrous. My question to you is, which do you prefer? Do you want a friend that will lie to you, or do you want a friend that will be honest with you? And even though it will hurt your feelings, but you know that you have a bright future because that friend truly loves you. I'm saying that to say, we have been told by other foreign nations that the Anglophone crisis, the problem that we are dealing with, we are the ones to solve that problem. And so the truth has to come from us. We have to be able to look at each other in the eyes and say, oh, this attitude really sucks. This behavior sucks. We know our history. We know that our leaders from inception, even before they joined the French-speaking Cameroonians, they've always had an attitude towards each other. We know that this is a historical fact. To put this under the table and think that, oh, all of a sudden we are holy, we are nice, we are cool people, we go along with each other, that is not honest. And if there's one thing that has been eating us up, it is this aspect of disunity and this attitude that we have towards each other. So I would like for you guys to watch this video, and then we will proceed from there.
People talk down on rebels and think being rebellious is wrong, and they don't realize the whole time that some of their favorite heroes are actually rebels, because it takes a rebel person to stand up against an oppressing system or a system that is unfairly treating other people. It takes a rebel to stand up and change society norms. I'm going to give you an example. We talk about people like Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Albert Einstein, of all people. They all stood up for what they believed in, and they all weren't afraid to change social norms and to do things differently and to rebel up. So I'm not inviting anybody or telling everybody to be a rebel, but I'm saying being rebellious is not necessarily a bad trait. It just means that you don't think in the same way of society, and that you're not afraid to stand up for what you believe in, and you're not afraid to be yourself. So that's what I was saying.
So I want to make a comment on that video, because some English-speaking Cameroonians took this video and said it is not a bad thing to be a rebel. I want to say it is important to understand the context of rebellion that she is talking about, because the people that she mentioned, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, these individuals were rebels that fostered unity, that said we want to be accepted in this society. They were not rebels that advocated for secession. They were not rebels that promoted separation. If not, they will not be remembered. There is no human being in history that had ideas that fostered secession, separation, disunity, that history remembers them and they are celebrated today. There's none. The leaders that advocated for secession and at some point realized themselves and started fostering unity, those are the kind of leaders that are celebrated today. And I just want to make that very clear, that if you have right before you disunity, if you have right before you segregation, if you had right before you division, at the end of the day, you will not be remembered and you will not be celebrated. Hitler, for once, he wanted the same idea, like, we don't feel like we are part of the human race. We feel like we are special and everyone else is beneath us. You see his end result. And I'm like, it is a good thing to stand up and say, I want change. But is your change towards unity or towards division? The reason why I say, let me make clarification to that, because you can sit in your own little bubble and have your thoughts, and your thoughts are directed towards you looking at yourself as righteous towards what you're doing, when it is completely opposite. You see what I'm saying? It's opposite to this whole train of thought and of being positive, being a rebel that is advocating for change, advocating for integration, unity, and peace. You can be really doing something opposite and assuming that what I'm doing is actually designed to produce the intended result. Carl Jung is a famous 19th century psychotherapist and psychologist, very smart individual. He actually was working together with Sigmund Freud. So great psychologist. He came up with a theory called individuation, which is the process of working towards finding your true self, your unique self, and accepting that unique individual that you are. And he termed it individuation. It is a very fascinating concept in psychotherapy. And if you study Jung's work carefully, you realize that he is a big proponent of letting people know, the people that came across his therapeutic sessions, to face their fears. Really face your fears, looking right into what you are afraid of. And that will only start when you actually start this process of accepting who you are. Accepting who you are, not saying that this is who you are going to remain, but that you can change. But it starts with accepting yourself. And this is what we have to do to ourselves, right? We have to accept who we are. The Cameroon national team just had a game and they lost the game. And some people feel like, why is it that we don't have Anglophones in that team? Is this not discrimination? Don't you think this is discrimination? Don't you think they hate us? Don't you think this country doesn't like us? Why is it that we don't have English-speaking Cameroonians in that team? And you cannot look at this and say it is discrimination. I want to be very clear with that. English-speaking Cameroonians don't have a sport culture. It's just of recent that we are having a music culture or film culture. We have not had entertainment culture in Cameroon. We haven't had the sport culture. We, English-speaking Cameroonians, we haven't had that. I would have been a great soccer player. But you know what? My parents said, no, don't play soccer. They will bust your ball. They will stop you from playing soccer. They will say, go to school. That is what you ought to do. We are known for education. And this is the reality that we have to accept. We have to stop lying to ourselves and face ourselves in the mirror, because this is where change, true change, will come from. Like, will you say Samuel Eto'o is the most renowned soccer player globally? Do you think that is discrimination? Maybe they discriminated against the Anglophone. That is why they made Samuel Eto'o the best soccer player in the world, and all the numerous awards that he has had. You can see that he performs both home and abroad. Which English-speaking Cameroonian have you seen perform abroad in that standard and then come back home and they refuse to put them in the national team? Which English-speaking Cameroonian have you seen that genuinely have talent? Will you also say Francis Ngannou is probably chosen because he's a Francophone? Will you say that? Don't you think we should have another Anglophone? Maybe the world is discriminating against the Anglophone. That's why they choose Francis Ngannou. They probably made Francis Ngannou the best martial arts fighter, the best boxer around the world, because it's discrimination against the English-speaking Cameroonians. Don't you think so? They would have had at least an Anglophone alongside Francis Ngannou. What do you think? Let's be real, guys. This is based on competence. It's not about Anglophone, Francophone. The people that have been chosen to play for the national team is based on competence. You can see their performance both home and abroad. You can see their achievements both home and abroad. Kylian Mbappe in France, the father is from the French side as well. You can see that they have a culture of sports. They take it very serious. When these children are growing up and they exercise talents in this sport, they train them. Samuel Eto'o is very young. He went to Europe and trained to become the best soccer player in the world. We do not have that culture. It's just right now that we are developing even the music culture in Cameroon. We don't have that history. These are realities. We have to start valuing these things, because when a child rises up, and I know how you English-speaking Cameroonians will insult even one another. Look at Le Bianca. This lady she's made it big in music. Do you guys support her? When someone exhibits talents, do you support them? You laugh at them, you make mockery, you belittle them, and then at the end of the day, you want that day everybody should praise them. How many of you blog about her? How many of you talk about her? I'm asking you guys, be honest with yourself. Go on YouTube and look at a monologue that this guy, Tizik Pancha, did, saying he was the best musician in Africa. He's better than Naira Marley. Do you know the people that were insulting him? Cameroonians. You English-speaking Cameroonians were insulting Tizik Pancha and say, who the hell do you think you are? You did that. When you crush your brother's ego like that, when you crush your sister's ego, you belittle their achievements, you expect to be the best in the world. Even right here, when I'm speaking, you say, who do you think you are? You will say that to me. How do you expect a great man to come out of you guys? Tomorrow it is discrimination. Tomorrow you go around saying it's discrimination. That is why you don't have anyone that is good out of the English-speaking zone. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? We are doing this to ourselves. Our forefathers started this division, complaining, fighting, criticizing one another, and we picked it up. Guys, I want to let you know that is what Carl Jung actually explains in his work. Because when I read his whole concept and I begin to understand how he's able to separate these different aspects of our mind, he said there's a conscious mind, there is the personal unconscious mind, and there's the collective unconscious mind. And you will see that the people always live in the shadow. There's a side of you within the conscious that you don't want people to know. You come and you put this card of this righteous, good, nice Anglophone person that will not even hurt a fly, and that is what you put up. But if they go under the comment of a brother or a sister that is successful within your community, they will see your heart, just the comments that you write under that post. You see what I'm saying? That is the shadow. But there is the real you, and it comes out in the comment section. I'm here promoting ideas that can really transform us. Most of you guys come under this thing, like instead of asking good questions to see how we can move forward, no, you come to challenge me. You come to insist on what you know, and it's not working for you. And I can see how flawed your thinking is. Who do you think you are? No, I'm saying this because I've studied. We should learn, because God will only raise someone from among you to bless you. And if you reject that, you keep praying for a savior that you never see to transform your life, to make you become a better human being. And that is what Carl Jung is explaining in his theory of psychotherapy, that you got to be able to face your fears. Some of these Ambazonia leaders, after you're said and done, you should understand that you got to unite and build that nation. These ideas that you have will not work. By any stretch of the imagination, these concepts are not realistic. You got to get to the place where you understand that you have to go down there and fix that nation. And as you go face that nation, because we have to press the reset button, like we in 1961, and we're joining this union, and we are coming in with a clean heart. And we keep all this, our spirits of division and segregation and confusion and fighting one another at the door. And then we get into this union and we start building. We have never given our heart to this nation. Never. It's always been haphazard. It has always been with suspicion. It has always been with a critical mind. We have to press the reset button. They do not hate you in Cameroon. What you get in that nation is based on your competence, based on your heart, based on how you feel towards the nation. You see what I'm saying? If you come in, you've always had segregation. It transfers from one generation to another. And so when we see our young people behaving this way towards each other, it is a seed that has been transferred from one generation to another. It's planted in us. We got to get rid of it, because I had to step up out of that box, hack this thinking to restore put in a new operating system in my brain to be able to understand what is going on. And we got to do that. You think Eto'o is successful because of the discrimination against the Anglophone? He's successful in soccer because of that? You think so? You think Francis Ngannou is the best boxer globally because of discrimination against Anglophone? We don't have a culture of entertainment and sports. Growing up, we used to hear koto bass. We will hear longue longue. We will hear petit pays, bebe manga. All of these are francophone artists. If you try to do music within the Anglophone zone, you were shunned, you were shamed, you not even think about it. Just go to school, quit that. I started a film production business company in Cameroun. Do you know the first people that insulted me? Neighbors said I'm crazy, frustration. But today, when we want to talk about film, we want our country to be up there. And even when your brothers try to produce films, you insult them, you criticize them, you talk about it, and you say, oh, it's low standard. There's nothing good that you see out of it. Even after trying all these years to see that they put us on the map, you don't see anything good about it. And then tomorrow we turn around and we blame, oh, they don't. Is it discrimination? Is it discrimination that makes you to look at yourselves this way? This is the real us that we have to look into the mirror and then be able to pivot and start making those changes. No matter how bad life is for you, there is something you can do to make it even worse. No matter how bad Cameroon is for you, there is something you are doing or can do to make it even worse for you. And so no matter what we claim we've experienced in Cameroon, what we have done for the past 7 years has made it worse for us. And that is what Carl Jung explains in his work, that your job as a human being is to be able to pour a little bit of light into the darkness and elevate the human being and elevate your brothers, elevate your sisters. Your job is to ask yourself, that's how you overcome that subconscious programming or that unconscious programming, so that you can be able to consciously pour light on someone, at least be the one that holds the torch. And that is why I'm here, to hold that torch and let you know, no matter what you think about yourself, I still believe in you. No matter what you think about that nation, I still believe you can do something. You can be something. No matter how you've been criticized and maybe shut down, people don't believe in you, they hate you. I am saying I still believe that something good can come out of English-speaking Cameroonians, can come out of every Cameroonian. I still believe in you. That is what I came here to announce to you. That is why God brought me through you, through this group of people, because we have responsibility to help our people. Nobody will do it for us. And if that savior will ever come, it will come from us. To save the Jews, Jesus Christ came through the Jews to save the Jews and then the rest of the world. God will always bring a savior. Not the white man somewhere is going to come save you. Not some neighboring Nigerian country is going to come save you. Not maybe South Africa will come save you. You will save yourselves. You are the one that has been called to save yourselves. And it will take reflection and honesty within ourselves to bring about this transformation. Nelson Mandela said something so powerful. He says, if you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to walk with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. That is Nelson Mandela, one of the greatest freedom fighters in the world. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to walk with your enemy. And then he becomes your partner. Do we understand that? Do we get it? Yeah. You got to learn how to walk with the people that you've labeled your enemies. They will become your partner. We cannot skip this step. We've been running away from everything, running away from responsibility, running away from ourselves. We got to face ourselves. This 2024 is the year that we face ourselves. We go back into that country. We click the reset button and we start working for Cameroon than against Cameroon. You see all this insults you're doing, it will take you nowhere. You see this confusion that you're setting around, it will take you nowhere. You only perpetuate this attitude and you transfer it to your children. It is going to be generational. Whatever you put out into the world comes back to you. You go into a union and you're waiting for ways to say it didn't work out so you can run away. That will become your self-fulfilling prophecy. You get into marriage and you think, oh, is it for better or for worse? Or is it only for better? When things are bad, I'll find every literature that I can read to prove to myself that it didn't work out so that I can run away. When you do that, you will find just what you are looking for. We sow the seeds of division. What happens? Division among our leaders abroad, division among children back home, division among each other. We criticize and shame each other, and we cannot progress because of that. There is nothing as terrible as sabotaging yourself and sabotaging your brothers and sisters and hoping that something good will come out of that. Nothing good ever comes out of people that self-sabotage themselves, self-sabotage their community. You are a product of what you put out into the world. That is the reality. That is the reality. You got to learn how to walk even with the people that you call your enemies. And they will become your partner. And he did just that. He came out of prison after 27 years. What have you gone through in your life? 27 years in prison. Came out and said, I will walk with my enemies. His cabinet was made up of white people, and chose them and put them into the system and say, let's work together and build South Africa. Any energy other than this, I say, good luck with that. We will see how far that will take you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. This are people that have changed the world. You belittle this and you think that what you have in your head is what will work. Nah, bro. Nah. Keep trying. Good luck with that. But for us, the young folks, we are rising up to say we will not follow this path. We will be united. We will not criticize one another. We will not fight one another. We'll find a way to resolve our differences. We'll cooperate to build our nation. Cameroon will be like Canada. We will become a first world nation in the next 20 years. We have good luck. We have been favored by God. We are blessed. We are the head and not the tail. We in this dispensation will not follow a dream that a 93-year-old man called Gorgin Dinka came back from Europe in an era where rebels were emerging around the world, picked up a crazy idea and spread it around, and today the seeds of that ideas are emerging. We will not follow that idea. This is 2024. We will choose what we want our lives to look like. God created us in this dispensation so that we can create for ourselves what we think we need to solve the problems that we are experiencing in this dispensation. We will not waste our lives on a dream that a 93-year-old man did not achieve in his lifetime, and so we want to pick it up in this generation. We are breaking loose from this influence. We are breaking loose from this curse. It is a curse and a trap from the enemy, and it's a witchcraft spirit to hold the destiny of the people of the English-speaking Cameroon. Do you know what we would have achieved for this past 7 years? This is the first time that we could come together and put our money and our resources together, but it was towards buying guns and destroying one another. This is time I urge you, fellow Cameroonian. We can still put our money together, but this time towards building that nation, building companies, building businesses. It is not your fault. You were misled. And it was a witchcraft spirit behind this conspiracy. And that witchcraft spirit, the goal is to kill us. The goal is to confuse us. The goal is to set confusion among us. And we are smarter because God is opening up our eyes. And so we will not fall prey to this anymore. Is that making sense? So, and what does Nelson Mandela say? There can be no greater gift than that of giving one's time and energy to help others without expecting anything in return. No, I want to read that again because this doesn't exist in our community. If you give somebody something, you're expecting something. They don't do that. You start hitting them. You start insulting them. You start saying all sorts of things. There can be no greater gift than that of giving one's time and energy to help others without expecting anything in return. When we start developing this attitude that you can walk with your brother towards a common good without expecting anything in return, it's a heart of service. I've heard bloggers in Cameroon say, oh, I blog about Stanley Eno, I blog about this rapper, I blog about this artist, they did not get back with me. Oh, someone in Ghana got back with me, and so I say, away with Cameroon. You got to learn how to build your nation, because these people that you think they gave you some money and now you're supporting them, they started somewhere. We have not had that culture to promote ourselves. And you got to understand that you will not make money right away out of blogging. You got to get a job, but now you got to get blogging on the side so that you can help push your nation forward and not be depending that your artists or your maybe celebrities within your country, they must reach out to you. If they don't call you, you feel bitter about it. This attitude has to stop. You have to do it for the love of your nation. Nationalism, the love for one's nation. You're not doing it because of Stanley Eno. You're not doing it because of Kosi. You're doing it because of the love of your nation, the love for your fatherland. And that is the kind of spirit, young people, that we got to develop. Work extremely hard. That is how Nigeria started. That is how America started. The people worked. They were passionate about their nation. They wanted transformation. They wanted to go further. We cannot do that if everybody expects to be paid. Nothing will get done and we will be backward. You can get that little crumb, that little amount of money, and you think, oh, they rewarded me, and you start criticizing your brothers, and you come on TV and you start talking evil things about them. And I want to let you guys know, if we continue this way, we will suffer and we will perish. But in this dispensation, we will change this narrative. We will change this thinking. We will change this perspective. We will be able to work with each other and not betray one another. You're working with somebody, all of a sudden you're thinking of go starting your own business when you don't even understand what is going on. You want to quit and go start your own business and frustrate the plan of that company. We will stop this attitude and work with your whole heart and build something that you can say 20 years we dedicated time to make this become a reality. That is how great companies in America here are built. People give their time, their energy and everything for 10, 15, 20 years in the company, and they have a track record and they are celebrated that they gave their all. That is what we need in Cameroon. That is what we need if we will make our nation become a first world nation. Cooperate with each other. Have character. You say you're coming at 12, be there at 12. You say you show up at 9 a.m. in the morning at your job, show up at 9 a.m. If the closing time is 5, even leave at 6. Spend 1 hour more to make sure that you set up things around before you go, preparing yourself for the next day. That is the attitude that we need to change our nation. If someone is selling you something else, I don't know how that is going to work for you. This is what works for this nation. And like I said, if we will build Cameroon, we got to follow what works. If we will become a first world nation, we have to follow what works. We got to follow nations like America and look at what they are doing and implement just that. All this socialist, communistic idea that they are spreading around, I don't know where that works. None of them have really desired to go live in a nation that is predominantly a socialistic or communistic nation. What kind of idea is that? Are we bewitched or what? Are we under a spell or what? Are we under a curse or what? But this 2024, we break loose every spirit of generational curse, every spirit of division, every spirit of hate and confusion. These are all traits of witchcraft. We break loose from them. You will be prosperous this year. You will lay a foundation that you build an amazing business this year. Whatever disease or sickness that you're going through, you'll be liberated from that this year. I speak that into your existence. So another thing that Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, actually coined out, besides the conscious, the personal unconscious, and the collective unconscious, the collective unconscious has to do with some traits in your genes that have been transferred from one generation to another that you have no control over. Because it's like you're in this life, you're holding a steering, right? You're driving a vehicle that you have no control over. And he's saying when you are able to have consciousness about these forces acting within you, you'll be able to take control of your life. That there is a conscious you. And just within that conscious you, there is the ego. And that ego is what projects the good side of you, right? Nobody gets to really understand who the real you is. And then he also talks about the personal unconscious. This is you living life, going around your experiences from birth right up to now. That is what your personal unconscious is. You're not conscious about what is actually going on, but these are experiences that you've had throughout your life that keeps manifesting and taking control. And you say, this is you, but you have to understand what is going on with you. And then he talks about the collective unconscious. That is what generational curses is. A generational curse is the collective unconscious. You see a group of people think and act a certain way from one generation to another, from one generation to another. Hatred continues, pain continues. That collective unconscious is what has been transferred from one generation to another. And he said the goal is for you to be able to identify these areas of your life and of your mind and have control, because your job is to tame this part of you. That is the power that you have as humans. That's the power God has given you to be able to understand these aspects of your being and tame them. Because your one goal in life, your one goal in life is to be a beacon of hope. Someone that will pour light into darkness. Elevate human beings. If anything that you do at the end result, people will die, that doesn't elevate humans. That doesn't pour light into the life of someone. And that is what he helps us understand through his psychotherapy practice, so that we can have perspective. And you're moving through this world, and if you're not conscious about this, you just be going and this Ambazonia, we keep going. You don't know what is happening. You don't understand that there's some spiritual powers. There is some witchcraft powers behind these ideas that are controlling you. And he calls that the collective unconscious. Generational curses. A group of people keep thinking the same way from generation to generation, and they think someone else is going to come out of that box. No, it will be someone within that box that God elevates to challenge that thinking so that we can shift and pivot. Why is it that we think the same way? Why is it that we act the same way? Why is it that we keep being categorized as a third world nation? Why is it that we are this way? Why is it that it's hard for us to make progress? Why is it that we hate each other? Why is it that we argue among each other? Why is it that our leaders cannot cooperate? There is a collective unconscious that we can see that has been passed down from one generation to another. And it will break that yoke in this dispensation. We break that yoke. So I hope this is helping you to have perspective about your own situation and let God handle it. Because some of you think, pastors should not maybe get into politics or whatever. And I just want to let you know, you don't even really understand Jesus. You don't understand why he came on earth. If you think pastors should not be actively involved in politics, then you don't really know God. In the book of Isaiah, it explains that when Jesus Christ will come on earth, what will happen? The government will be on his shoulders. The government will be on his shoulders. Pastors, the government has to be on your shoulders. It has to be on your shoulders. And it says that government is going to increase around the earth. And I just want to let you know, it has to be on your shoulders. You got to be actively involved, because these people that you talk to on Sunday, they go out there in the real world every day. You should be concerned as to what they are doing with their lives every day. Because some of us don't know how to actually apply what we learn on Sunday in our daily lives. You got to be actively engaged in the lives of your people, understanding what they do on a weekly basis. Not just when they show up on Sunday. And that is what God is doing in this generation. He's raising me to see these things and point them out to you so that you can make the necessary adjustments, so that you don't waste your life on earth and keep repeating the same cycle that your parents or your great-grandparents have transferred from one generation to another. The collective unconscious. Why is it that we keep behaving like this in this family? You think it started with you? No, it's been transferred from one generation to another. Why is it that you keep divorcing? You think it started with you? No, it has been transferred from one generation to another. Why do you think people die in your family before the age of 50? It has been transferred from one generation to another. It is a generational curse. The collective unconscious. So, right now, people are screaming in some parts. So they are chanting and saying Amba must go. They are not just saying that Amba will go. It is actually saying the idea and the spirits behind that idea will go. And this is an awakening. The consciousness of the English-speaking Cameroonians is being awakened in this 2024 to start thinking for yourself, finding your true self, like Carl Jung explains. That is when real transformation starts. You understand what I'm saying? And I want to highlight certain things so that our people should have perspective. We've heard that the Anglophones or the Ambazonia activists, they've used numerous strategies, right, to continue doing what they are doing. Like I've explained in the previous video, that we understand the rebellion that started in the 1960s across the world. And you see Gojin Dinka tapped into that negative energy, that rebellious energy, that witchcraft energy, and brought it to Cameroon and came up with this idea of Ambazonia. We know that is a spiritual thing. It's heavy. That rebellion was around the world. You see what I'm saying? Eritrea started in 1961. Biafra started in 1967. And within the 60s, the 1960s, right up to 1970, there was the birth of many rebellious ideas that the leaders that caught what was happening with them turned it to unity, turned it towards development and uniting the nation. And the reason why I'm highlighting this is to help you understand that they are using economic sabotage to say, oh, the economy of French Cameroon is going down, of La République is going down, and they keep singing all those songs. And I think it has expired, guys. You got to change your strategies or quit and go back there and fix that nation. From your birth right up to this moment, which nation have you seen go bankrupt and shut down completely? Which nation have you seen from your birth right up to this moment? And I want to let you guys know, every nation in Africa that seceded from their mother nation, today they are struggling financially. Their GDP is lower than that nation that they seceded from. Every African country that seceded from their mother country is struggling financially today. Their GDP is low. They are struggling economically. This spirit was a witchcraft spirit in the 60s. And ours is surfacing right now. The manifestation of that idea is manifesting right now in 2016, right up to this 2024. That is the spirit, and it's going down. We're going to submerge that spirit. We'll subdue it. So they use all this economic sabotage thinking this is going to work. Guys, and some people spread messages like this and you feel comfortable among yourselves when you say things like this. Which economy? You're not talking to dumb people. We are smart. We research. We look at the trends and see what is going to cause an economy to fall or rise. There are various factors that you take into consideration when to evaluate progress in a nation. You see what I'm saying? And you don't play this kind of cheap politics and cheap sabotage thinking that people will follow this kind of trend. And then secondly, they go on to say, another strategy that they use is to label people, right? They label people, they'll label you black comedian, they do all of that. And that strategy is not working anymore. You guys got to keep coming up with new strategies with the hope that you achieve your objectives. Guys, go back and build that nation. Go back and build that nation. Keep your ego down. Face yourself in the mirror. Go back and build that country. Cooperate and build that country. Nelson Mandela has said it. Partner with your enemy. Partner with them, becomes friends with them, and as you guys are working together, you will resolve your differences. That is how you initiate meaningful dialogue. Go back there and start building that nation. Encourage your young people to work hard and press the reset button and really engage in building that nation. Because all of these gimmicks, you either jump from one to another and it's not working. So, guys, another thing that they try to do is say the reason why the nation is where it is today is because they've always hated you. And I ask, why did they hate you? How can someone just develop hate towards you if you did not do something? If you did not spread stories and ideas of seceding since in the 1960s? Why should the name change towards a more unifying name and you find it offensive? These are questions to ask them. When they change the name, why did you have to feel that you're excluded if you did not have it in your heart to break that nation? These are questions that you have to ask yourself. Face your own self in the mirror. Economic sabotage will not help you. Some people ask the question, why is it that you're not saying something bad about La Republic? My question is, which of you have said anything good about La Republic? When you ask me, why am I not saying something bad about what the French-speaking Cameroonians are doing? My question to you is, what good thing have you said about them that you think is good? Let me ask you that question. And what evil thing have you said about you, yourself, and your actions towards that nation? What did you contribute to make this problem worse? Because like Carl Jung said, no matter the dilemma or the problems that you're facing in life, there is something you can do to make it even worse. It is one thing to be sick. It's a whole different thing when you are sick and bitter. It gets worse when you're sick and bitter. If you're sick, that is fine. But if you're sick and bitter, guys, it's worse. You can choose to really be in that kind of a condition. It's a deliberate effort that you make to be in a worse situation that you can find yourself in life. And if you feel pain enough, you can get out of it. You can get out of it. So I hope this session was educative. Guys, our organization is CSDP, the Cameroon Sustainable Development Project. That is what we are on. Our goal is to lay the groundwork towards our nation becoming the first world nation. We will make Cameroon work. If Canada did it, we can do it. If another human being, groups of human beings, they did it, we too can do it in Cameroon. If Canada works, Cameroon can work. And we have to press the reset button, because what I understand about our leaders, they never ever went and gave their all into this union. And it's time for us to go into this union and give our all. Give our heart. Give our all. Our artists like Mr. Leo and the rest, they started in 2016 singing in English, French, and Pidgin, and they have gained traction. They've gained international recognition. And that is proof that if we give our all, learn the French, with the English and the French, you become better and you can be able to create something that will give you global recognition. Our artists have demonstrated that. They have demonstrated that. Majority of the artists that have made it big in Cameroon, they sing in French, English, and Pidgin. That is proof. You can't beat that as facts. We will make that happen in our nation. With or without the government, we will do it. We will do it. We, the people. We will empower the young Cameroonians that will rise up and initiate this change. We will do it in this dispensation. We will not say we will do it when we are 50s or 60s. We will do it in the next 20 years. We will do it. We will initiate that change in that country. We will make it happen. Everything starts with determination, guys. It starts in the mind, guys. It starts with you verbalizing that it's even possible for you to succeed, to win in life. If you have self-defeating prophecies, self-defeating words that I cannot make it, I am broke, I'm backwards, I was not designed to be successful, it will become your reality. If you start speaking the opposite, that we are called in this generation to bring this transformation. We are called and we are the chosen ones. We are blessed. We are favored. Anything that we touch our hands on, we will succeed. When we start thinking that way, things will change. And that is the energy that I bring on the table. We will change the trajectory of that nation. Where our parents failed, we will prove that with everything that we have in this generation, we will make it work. Because guys, there are just 3 stages in someone's life, right? After you're born, there are just 3 stages. The first stage is the stage where you become successful. You achieve some level of success. The second stage is the stage where you get to help others with your ideas and your success. You can help family members, but first you got to be successful. And then the second thing, you help others. And then the third stage is the stage of death. That is where you get to accept that people will not welcome you. People will not like some of your ideas. People will not believe in you. And you accept that. And I'm looking at the age group of the people that are advocating for this Ambazonia struggle. You are at the stage in life where you got to accept that people will not welcome these ideas anymore. But you see us? We are at the stage in our lives that is the stage for us to produce and become and do something, so that we can get to the next stage, which is helping others, helping the world. We should be helping the world. We should not be confined in our own little vacuum. We should be producing to the level that we can help other nations and help the world. And this is that prime time for us. Let us make our own mistakes. Let us try it and then say we failed, but we tried at least. We did not cower in the corner. We faced adversity. We faced life. That is what I'm saying to you, young people. This is the time to work. After this stage, it will be the stage people will be expecting something from you. The world will be expecting something from you. Your family will be expecting something from you. Your community will be expecting something from you. And then the next stage is a stage where you understand my time is over. And that time, you got to be comfortable. People telling you, yeah, we don't like this. And you say, okay, that's cool. I get it. But at least you did something now. And if you do what you ought to do now, and you get to that stage, you'll be getting respect from both the old and the young. And that respect will be all about these people appreciating what you did now. There was a stage Etofis was doing well in his career, traveling around the world, and he was doing great. He was building himself. He was giving to the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? He built himself, he gave to the world. Now he's coaching. What is he doing? He's giving back. He's giving back. There's a stage where you guys will say, oh, Etofis, we don't want you anymore and all of that. You guys will say that. You're already saying it. And I'm saying these are stages in people's lives. You got to understand the trend, guys, so that you don't waste your time and waste your life. Life is very easy. You just got to be conscious about what is happening around you. There was a stage he was in his prime, traveling around the world, building himself. Now he became a coach. He's giving back. Or he's the president of Feka Food. He's giving back. And then the next stage will be the stage where you will not be accepted, and that is fine. When you get to that level, you did what you ought to do when you had the time, when you were in your prime, when you had the energy. Parents, this is our time to think and act for ourselves. Back off. Let us make our own mistakes. Some of you guys, you made your own mistakes, and that is why you are where you are today. We have the choice to make our own mistakes in our dispensation, and we don't want your influence in our thinking at this stage of our lives. We are seeing the world in a whole different way, and you guys cannot even grasp that. Let us fail. We will learn. I hope this session was inspiring, guys. I just thought I'd pour my heart to you, help you understand how I feel for you. And again, I want to make it very clear. I know that God has blessed me and I have good luck. I don't have bad luck. And that is what I bring to the table for you. And my job is not to boss you. It's not to be your president. My job here is to hold a torch so you can see your dreams, so that you can be who God created you to be, so that you can soar like an eagle. We've not had this energy in Cameroon for a very long time. Everybody is self-centered, wants something for themselves, want to use others to benefit themselves or to forge their dreams. I want to say we are rising up as a group of young Cameroonians that will point the torch, hold each other's hand, stand and hold the torch so that someone else can achieve their dreams and become who God created them to be. That is the energy of servant that we are building in Cameroon. We are developing servant leaders. Leaders that are willing to serve. Everything must not be about you. You can hold a light for others too. And that is the heart that brings unity and love and cooperation. So now you've gotten it right. You understand why you guys are not good with sports, because we don't have a history of parents encouraging, putting money, supporting us to be good in music, in sports, in films. We've always been shamed. We've always been looked down upon, and we don't see great footballers or soccer players from the English zone playing in Europe and other nations. That is why you don't even see them back home to come play for the national team. So there is no discrimination. It's based on competence. You can point something else, we can look at that, but if it has to do with sport, Francis Ngannou is who he is today. It's not discrimination. They didn't pick him because he was Francophone. Competence. Never forget that. Because if you go around looking at everything through the lens of Anglophone, Francophone, you are blinded. And it's dangerous for you to be looking at life that way. Everything you filter it through the box of Anglophone, Francophone. This is the cross that you carry. You see what I'm saying? Is he competent? Do they know what they are doing? That is what is important. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I love you guys so much. And I'm praying for you. I know we will go through this. And we will emerge victorious. Nobody will stop your shine. You progressing doesn't stop me from progressing. You being successful doesn't stop me from being successful. Doesn't stop your sister from being successful. The abundance mindset. There is enough for everybody in this world. God will not make you if he thinks the resources were limited. If he thinks wealth was limited, he will not make you. He made you because there is enough to accommodate everybody. And that is the mindset you should go around life believing, that you have your own gift. I have my own gift. You cannot do what I'm doing, and I cannot do what you do. And that is what makes us unique. That when we come together, we are able to blend and come out with a beautiful flavor. You have your gift and I have mine. There's no need for me to be envious towards you. Because what God put in you, he did not put in me. And what he put in me, he did not put in you. And so that is how we work cooperatively to understand our unique flavors. That's why there's male, there's female. You guys are not competing with one another. A man and a woman comes together. They bring children into the world. They bring the flavor of marriage because they are not the same. That is the beauty of our differences. The Anglophones and the Francophones have different talents, different gifts, different aspirations, different things that they focus on. And when they come together, we should be able to bring out that flavor. It's not coming together and trying to say, oh, we have to have this amount of soccer players from this side and from the that is too myopic. Life will be very stressful if you go around thinking that way. Until next time, guys, stay blessed. All right, if you like this video, you're gonna like this other episode, and you can watch it by clicking right here.